Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. Today we are going to be looking at something very special. This is the Foundry Works Studio Praetor and Praetor Romulo. So for those of you who don't know, Foundry Works does Mega-like pieces. So they're legally distinct from Mega, but they work with Mega. And they're not just 3D prints. I don't know the exact way that they make them, but they very much look injection molded. And some of them even come with printing. I missed all of the other drops. So they do them in drops. So this was a Spartan Fest 2024 drop. And what happens is they go up on their site and then typically will sell out in like 15 minutes because they're limited runs, because they're not a massive company. I finally managed to get one, and today we are going to be taking a look at both of these. I did just want to show off the boxes real quick. These are just stickers. This one started coming off in transit, but they come like this, and then your parts will just be inside in this little hinge open. And then this is the special edition one. This is the Romulo. This came with a few more pieces. I'll show that off in a minute, and that's just the same. Other than that, they're just a little black box. I was actually surprised. I was expecting them to just come in a little Ziploc or something, so I thought this was very professional, and it just made it a lot more exciting to pull it out and see this art. And there we have it. That is both figures. So the gray guy, that's just the normal Praetor, and then the guy with the sword is the Praetor Romulo. Now this is the Achilles armor set. That's what this is. Legally, obviously, they can't say that because, yeah, that just gets messy. But anyway, that's what this is. This is Achilles. Mega has never made Achilles, and I'm really excited to get a closer look. However, I have to put a bit of a disclaimer starting off. Both of these figures have a matte top coat. So when I got them, I realized, especially on the gray guy, but some on the black, the finish on the head was not sturdy, and I was getting some flaking, particularly on the underside of the head, and I was not having any of that. So I chose to go with a matte top coat because clear coat or just like the gloss coat tends to get really, if you're not very careful, it can glob and it can get into the cracks and crevices. So I chose to go with a matte coat because these things have so much detail. I want to be able to show off that detail, and I don't want a gloss globbing it over and making it all messed up. So I don't know if this has been a problem in the past or if it's just something with this particular drop, but yes, the finish is fragile, especially on the heads. I didn't see flaking on the armor itself, just the head, but I wasn't gonna risk it. Plus, if you just top coat one section, it doesn't really work that way. The Romulo had more of a chrome visor. Now I should have masked that off. I didn't, but I also had to put some panel lining because there was some overspill. The gold one for the other guy is fine, but the chrome was a bit overspilled and it was kind of noticeable. So I fixed that up. So be aware that that was a thing as well. The gray didn't really change too much, but the black, there's less of an oily sheen to it, which I think looks nicer. It's just now the visor is more flat. So here is the normal Praetor, or Achilles. I'm going to probably call it Achilles the rest of this because it is Achilles. Now they did this in 4 different types. There was this version, it's the gray or the silver with the gold visor. Then there was a red with like a black or a blue visor, and then there was a black with a red visor. And what you got in this kit was the shoulders, the chest, the waist unit, the thigh pieces, and the head. So for the mega parts, you had to supply forearms, most of the underbody, and lower legs. So yeah, you basically needed to strip down a Spartan, which I did. I had an extra like Spartan 3-pack, so that's what we're going to be having these figures on as a base. So you can see we've got the lighter colored arms and legs on this guy, which I think works pretty well. I'm actually not sold on the way this color looks with the finish, but I do think that this silver actually looks pretty good with the finish. The visor is actually pretty nice. There's a little bit of overspill, but not bad. The detail is very sharp over the whole thing, which is awesome. Now, what I was surprised about is this does not actually come in half. This chest plate is a slightly flexible material, so you have to pop the arms off and fit this down over top. There is a little seam underneath to allow for some separation to peg it on. So that was really interesting. The parts feel pretty sturdy. I did need to do quite a bit of sanding to get the helmet on. So just be aware that if you ever get a Foundry Works drop, you will probably have to finagle the head a little bit. But yeah, it looks really, really nice. You guys will have to tell me what you think of my choice of a secondary color. It was a little bit difficult because Mega doesn't quite have the same color, so I couldn't make this guy all one color. I did grab a couple gray figures to try to give you a bit of a comparison. So this is a Halo Infinite Spartan who's got a similar-ish gray, but it's a lot flatter, a lot more translucent, I guess. The one that I really thought would be the same is Fireteam Shadow and this guy. My Fireteam Shadow is still packed up. Buddy, come back here. And I haven't been able to find it yet, but it's in the boxes somewhere. But yeah, this silver I think is the closest. But this is a bit more green, whereas this is a bit more gunmetal with a little tint of pink in there, I suppose. So yeah, popping these together I don't think would look that great. I will say though, this guy does look super nice next to a normal Mega Spartan. I don't feel like he looks that out of place. The level of detail, while it is sharper, just looks pretty good alongside actual Mega. That's pretty nice. Also, you do still get access to the back little port. This chest plate doesn't cover that up at all. Now we have the Romulo. So this is special because you get different shoulders. These are the, I think, Halo Infinite ones that are based on Geralt from The Witcher. And then he comes with a Prophet's Bane, but this is a color variant, so this one's a nice red. This is really cool. I was really looking forward to this. It's got some nice detail on the hilt. It fits into a Mega hand pretty well. I wasn't sure what to expect at first because a lot of times 3D prints aren't quite to the same tolerance and are either too tight or too loose. This actually fits pretty well. It's a bit on the loose side, but it fits better than I was expecting. And the blade is removable, which for stop motion people, that's a big deal. Look at that. Look at that. There's a little tiny peg on there. I would have preferred that be longer, but I guess you can risk breakage that way. The edge of the blade does have some little excess bits from where I suppose it was attached to the sprue or the mold or whatever. You could easily shave that down. Shaping, really nice. I am super happy to get this. My only regret is that I don't have a Halo 5 Arbiter to show off with it. And then the Romulo himself, the black, I actually really like the black with the top coat. It had a slightly oily look before the top coat, which wasn't bad, but it also didn't quite match Mega's plastic look, and it wasn't metallic enough to make that, I don't know, feel all right. So I think with a flat coat on top, it looks really good. I did put some panel lining on the eye bit underneath. So yeah, that was tightened up. The overspill was a bit much for me. I thought that was very distracting, especially with how shiny the black was and then how shiny the chrome was. Unfortunately, I did mess up the chrome finish. Now it's kind of just a flat whitish visor, which does look good still. Detail all over is great. The shoulders are fantastic. Actually, the ears are really sharp. Like, they're actually genuinely sharp. And then I chose kind of a stone gray because that was the other color in the pack. And also, it's a little difficult, again, pairing because I suppose I could have just done all black, but there is no silver that Mega has that matches this. This is a very, like, yellowy silver. But here is a black recon, so you can see the difference between the blacks. So I suppose I could have done black, although I don't have an extra recon. I don't know if that would have made him too monochrome or not. It might have. I do think that the stone gray matches pretty well. Again, you guys have to tell me what you think of my choices down in the comments. But yeah, that's what it looks like next to a normal Mega all black figure. Again, it's not 100% fair because he's now top coated, so there's a little bit of a difference. This guy would look different if I top coated him. Overall, though, I am pretty happy with this. Again, I just would have really liked to not have to top coat it, but yeah, the finish flaking off was just a big no. So there you have it. That is my first experience with Foundry Works parts, and I have to say, I am going to be eagerly paying attention to their website and social medias to see what their next drop is going to be. I know that they just released the bomb from Halo 2, aka the Space Pickle. That one was a bit pricier than I was willing to pay for because they actually outfitted it with lights and everything, which was great. I just didn't want to try to get that. So I'm pretty happy. The biggest issue I see is the chipping that happened. Luckily, it didn't happen in very visible places, but yeah, if anybody from the Foundry Works team sees this, hopefully they will take note. And also the overspill on the visors, I have seen that seems to be a consistent thing with their painted drops. But yeah, overall parts quality feels pretty good, and I'm pretty excited about this. Now, I will say, for those of you who are not in Mexico, you can run into some trouble when trying to purchase it. I was able to get these thanks to Noir Renard, the guy who is currently the owner of the Squad 45 Discord. He helped me out and he ordered it for me because I tried and I tried and I tried to check out and it would not let me pay. So that was a bit frustrating, and I know other people have had problems with the Foundry Works site that way. So just be aware of that. Maybe double check beforehand that you can use stuff on their site use cards or payment options on their site before trying to purchase things on a limited drop, because yeah, they do sell out quick. They do sell out quick. So like I said, I'm pretty happy with it overall, and I am eagerly looking forward to what they come out with next, because this is the sort of thing that will keep the Halo community alive, especially if they continue to ramp up production. Who knows, in a couple years, we could see them doing a lot more than just a couple armor drops every now and again. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.